Welcome back, everybody. Another week of the Heroes of the Storm Power Hour. Back in your face to jump into the Nexus, talk about the Nexus, all things Nexus, all things Heroes of the Storm. I am not alone on this show, so I just want to make a few introductions. First and foremost, I am Twiz, and my friends call me Twiz, and you can call me Twiz. So it's very good to see you, however it is that you got a hold of this podcast, whether it's on iTunes with the audio or you're watching this right now on YouTube. So my co-host, as you can see, one face is a little bit different than the other normal faces you see from week to week, and we will get to our guest host momentarily. But first and foremost, I'd like to welcome back to the show a man who has been absolutely hosed by work for the past couple of weeks that feel like months. Please help me welcome back to the show our good friend, the Diablo Demon Slaying Master 5000, Mr. 9-Ball Gamer. Hello, sir.
Yay! It is so good to be back here in this little confined box on the screen right now. I have missed you guys so much. Words cannot words cannot do the honors of how much I miss you guys.
I know, and the feeling is mutual. I'm telling you what, that laminated cutout in my bathroom just is not the same. It's just not the same.
You laminated this one. Good. We all know what happened to the last one.
That's right. It's all about longevity and getting my money's worth. So, anyways, this is getting really awkward. Our guest host is like, OMG, what did I get myself into? Just below Mr. 9-Ball Gamer is the three Viking wrecking crew, the man who only has one job. It's Mr. DJ Tyrant with his fighting hair. Welcome back to the show, dude.
Always good to be back. This is what, maybe a month in a row for me, finally?
A month in a row. It's true. It's true. So, good to have you back. And then just below him, in the very bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you will see the brains behind the operation, kind of our team shot caller. It is Mr. Balrog Fan BP. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Good. You ready for this? Another week of beatings?
I'm really into this week. I have enjoyed the new hero, and I'm ready to just jump right in.
Cool. Well, we will get to that momentarily. Last but certainly not least, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce somebody who's also part of the big podcasting community that is surrounded by Heroes of the Storm. Please help me welcome TBK Zord from Lords of the Storm. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
It's our pleasure, man. Absolutely our pleasure.
Always a lot of fun.
So, just a couple of things just to get this out of the way. If you want to come and hang out in our chat room, we are live on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on twitch.tv/BlizzPro. And again, the audio for this is on iTunes, and the video, if you can't watch the rest of this or you missed the gameplay portion, that is uploaded to the BlizzPro YouTube channel as soon as I get done doing the show. So it'll be available tomorrow. So, and then also, lastly, there are behind-the-scenes costs, guys. There's a lot of things going on. For example, we had to take down the video portion of the podcast off of iTunes because of our server downloads and our server fees, and because of the strains it put on the server, they wanted to charge us more money, and so we couldn't do that. So donating to the Heroes Power Hour Patreon page helps us do things like that. It helps us if we have equipment breakdown. It helps get the show out, get what we're doing for entertainment, for giving you guys knowledge. Helps keep the stuff on the books. Helps keep you guys informed, and it just goes such a long way. So head over to patreon.com/heroespowerhour and help support the show. You know what? It's all it costs is not having your Starbucks for a day. We can do that, right? We can do that.
If you contribute, you get to play with us in After Hours, and we've been having a lot of fun with that. Last week, we went ahead and did all random, and that was just chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Charlie got Tyranned, I think, every single game.
Oh, no.
I think it was 2 out of 4. No, we played quite a few games. I think we played 4 or 5, because Eldorian came back on later on in the night. But
that's right.
My first 2 games to open, I got the
was there.
Oh.
Yeah, 9-Ball even had a special appearance.
9-Ball was there. Yeah. My first game I got Malfurion, and everyone got mad at me. They're like, hey, why did he get his best hero?
Yeah, we did random pairings. It wasn't just like BlizzPro versus the patrons. We were mixing it up every game. It was a lot of fun, and it's like Twist says, you give up a coffee, you give up a Slurpee, you give up that cheeseburger just once a month. That's all you got to do. Yep. $1.
Absolutely. And also, all of our patrons, you get our battle tags. You get my battle tag. You get Nine Balls, DJ Tyrants, Balrog fans, Eldorians. And if you want to play Heroes with us, you can. If you want to play Hearthstone with us, you can. Diablo, WoW, whatever it is.
I'll even give you stutters just to mess with them.
It's true. It's true. It's true. So
Yeah, no. A couple weeks ago, I played with Aya and Zex and a couple of their friends, and it was a lot of fun. It was really fun to just play with people who like the show and obviously really enjoy Heroes as a whole.
absolutely.
We're just a quick announcement too. We're actually going to be entering Heroes Hype probably next week as a team. Me, Aya, Zex, Snuggy, and Purple. So
Cool.
look out for that.
There you
We're
go.
gonna make some noise and dominate some people. And
Yeah.
And do all the things. So,
yeah. Definitely just the first step into winning nationals and beating the crap out of Tempo Storm.
America's Championship next year, right?
Yes, for sure.
if they have nothing going on that weekend.
right. I may be busy.
So one of the things that I definitely want to give credit where it's due is our guest host guys. Again, part of the podcasting community, part of Lords of the Storm. TBK, tell us what you got going on, man. What are you doing over there? What are people gonna find when they find you?
So, like you said, I'm part of a big Heroes podcast we started earlier this year. Bunch of guys from a group called the Zords. We've been playing games together for, like 10 years now. We're all local to the Kansas City area right now, so just really good. We meet up, do LANs a whole lot, and we all got in the Heroes Alpha really early, and we're like, this game is awesome. It's kind of everything we wanted a MOBA to be. So you're just like, hey, we should do a podcast or something. And we just do it weekly, releases new episodes every Friday. We're actually about to hit episode 30, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, a little landmark there.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Or milestone, not landmark. You know what I meant.
Yeah, it's definitely a milestone. It's pretty cool. Just like, wow, we've been doing this for like 6 or 7 months now. This is crazy.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, good for you,
Nice
man.
feeling of accomplishment.
Yeah. So what's your show
Yeah,
like?
it feels good.
What's your show like?
So we have a fairly standard format every week. We kind of introduce ourselves, go over kind of what we've been playing, because as much fun as Heroes is, we play other games too.
Of course.
And so we kind of go over that a little bit, and then we usually will go over the store sales and the free hero rotation real fast, and then we'll always go over the news and the tournament. We have a section called Tournament Talk where we'll always cover a short time all the esports type stuff that's going on, any really big tournaments that have been happening, and then every week we always do an in-depth hero thing, and we do that's probably a good bulk of the show, where we take a hero, break them down, we have a build, but then we discuss the talents, in-depth counters, team synergies, all that fun stuff. And so we've got show notes, so if you want to know about a specific hero, just find the episode and you can check them out.
Cool. Well, that sounds a lot of fun. Like a lot of fun. You guys are on iTunes and everything, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yep.
At Lords of the Storm on Twitter, and then you can find us under the Heroes of the Storm or Lords of the Storm on iTunes as well.
Well, there you go. That's all. So make sure you guys are checking that out. Absolutely. We've got a massive amount of information to cover, and as everybody knows, we've got the second half of the show where we actually play a few games and kind of concentrate on team comp and just have a good time. Win, lose, whatever. It is what it is. So let's talk really quick, again, just real brief, about our week in gaming. I personally, I played, well, like TBK said, we all play other games. I did play some, probably more Hearthstone and WoW than anything else, but last night I did get with some of our patrons. I got with Aya. Was that right? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah,
I always forget. It's
That is his
Aya.
given Christian name, Aya.
That's right. And I got with Aya and Purple and Zex, and we just played a few quick matches and screwed around. That was a good time. I stayed up way later than I should have. But that was about it. Just a couple of quick matches. I did really, really well on Hammer. it was the first time that I had played Hammer with the new skin, and so I was like, I wanna see the changes and everything like that. And I went.
That's the reason. I mean, that skin is awesome.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
They changed it a week ago or 2 weeks ago, but they just added the skin. So
Yeah.
Well,
That's what makes her OP. Skin.
Well, I did not go with the napalm, and I wanted to check out the what they did with what's it called? The other alt.
the
BFG.
The BFG. Yeah.
thing.
How did I forget that? And it's cool. It's like a little. I don't know. It's like a rock or a barrel or something like that goes across the screen. I had an epic snipe. Like my teammates were chasing people down middle lane, and I fired that bad boy off from the bottom lane, and I picked off a Lily, and it was just like Skype went up for grabs at that point. It was pretty sweet. Not gonna lie.
If you're going to be doing that on the show, I request that you get the Indiana Jones music for.
Cue it up.
Can and will do, without a doubt. So so that was about it for my week in gaming. How about you, TBK?
Man, this has been a week of ups and downs. I finished my placement matches, and so that went pretty decently. I went like 12-8 or 13-7, so it ended up pretty good. And then, what was it? Was it Sunday night that we played, Jimmy?
Yeah, that was rough.
Oh,
Jimmy, that was rough. Oh man,
it was the Hero League from hell.
Oh no,
it was so bad. Just had such a bad night that night, but
we've all been there, dude.
Just one of those nights. At the end of it, I was just okay. I'm just gonna step away, take a break, play Hearthstone, and that lasted 2 games before I was just like, screw everything. I'm just going to bed.
Hearthstone is known for putting people in great moods.
Oh yeah. It is,
I've run into way too many secret pallies for my liking, and it's just.
Well, I'm here to tell you are one flare away from ruining everything about their deck. So.
Yeah.
I know. Just got to draw.
But that's the deck that I'm playing. Is the
There's
Secret
actually
Pally.
a great guide to playing around them on YouTube. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I would hope so at this point. Like everyone started running that thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I've been playing it.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
I've been playing Murloc Pally.
Have you? That's a thing.
Oh, that one's so much fun.
It is, especially like when you summon the Murloc Knight, and then it summons the Murloc Knight, and then on the next turn you like summon like a War Leader and Old One Eye. And it's just like
that's happened
GG.
so much to me. Like Murloc Knight always summons a Murloc Knight. Meanwhile, I'm playing Trash Shockadin and winning on turn 6.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's like
God.
you guys all have cute combos. I'm just gonna be a jerk.
Wow. Well, yeah. So
This is a Hearthstone podcast, right?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is. Exactly. And look, all of us play scumbag decks.
I know.
God, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with
my
us?
gosh.
So, how about you, Nine Ball, DJ Tyrant, Balrog fan? Anything big in game that you guys did this week?
There was a Diablo patch.
Yeah.
That's the thing that happened.
Oh yeah.
The new season. So I have dedicated pretty much every waking hour that I'm not at work has somehow been spent playing Diablo. So now my seasonal character is almost higher level than all of my previous characters combined from the other seasons.
Ah yes.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. If you stay hard at it,
something-
you could do a Diablo show.
I should. I really should go and start like a Diablo podcast or something like that.
That
I
would
got
be
so
a
much
thing.
to talk
Wednesday
about.
nights?
That would be a thing. Yeah. What do you?
Wednesday nights are free. I could do that. Like
Okay.
Wednesday night at 9 Eastern.
God.
I think. I could even broadcast it on this channel, couldn't I?
Yeah, you could. Just for, yeah, and we're being a little facetious here, guys. He does West March Workshop, so.
Plus, you do get a Sweet Heroes mount though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's
It's
the only
pretty
reason.
awesome.
The only reason I got one to 70. So
Probably going
No.
to buy Diablo just for that reason.
nah.
You should.
I actually,
should.
when I played Diablo, I was like, why did I stop playing this game? It's the same story with everything. I play one game of StarCraft for some reason. I'm like, why did I stop playing this game? I played Diablo just to get to level 70, just to get my mountain heroes or whatever. And I'm like, why did I stop playing this game? I play Hearthstone and I run into a freaking face hunter and I'm like, oh, I remember why I stopped playing this game.
I remember why I stopped playing this game.
Yeah.
This one right here.
So
I wouldn't mind getting out I played a Hearthstone and quite a bit of Heroes. wouldn't mind getting on my soapbox here for a second about something with matchmaking. A while ago they changed it so you're guaranteed at least one support on each side or no supports on either side, right? Mm-hmm. And they kind of addressed it like, we're not too worried about the warriors, but every game I've played where the other team had a warrior and we didn't, I lost. Every game I played where we had a warrior and they didn't, we won. It's just the Warriors have had such a dramatic shift in the effect of the game, and almost no good team runs without a warrior. So for Blizzard to just kind of say like, Warriors, it's no big deal. Like you can have 2 squishies and a Zeratul on your team, and they'll have a Sonya. It's fine. You'll make it work, right? And I think I really hope that all the Blizzard employees who tune in every week to watch this show because they're obsessed with us will take this to heart and go ahead and make that change. That's all I got.
Okay. I like it. I like where you're sitting. I like everything about it. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, you're just saying what I think like the majority of people are thinking.
Right. Well, I just think blind pick is lazy. Like, there's no reason for them to be doing that and just having like that. Because they can obviously make restrictions. I'd rather wait an extra 20 seconds for a balanced comp than just get thrown in with, whatever's available.
Sure. It probably makes more sense now than it did back when they made the change, too, honestly. Just because of the way the meta shifted.
Yeah, and the addition of Leoric, it's like, if one team gets a tank and it's Leoric and the other team doesn't get a tank, great, they got a giant bruiser on their team we have no way of dealing with. Oh, and when we do kill him, he's a mobile vision ward. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay!
Good old Leoric.
Oh, good old Leoric. So, all right, well, I say we jump into some of the things that are happening in the Nexus, in the game itself, or whatever. In case you guys didn't notice, that big yellow dude with the hot nips in the front of the screen there is the newest addition to Heroes of the Storm, Rexxar, and there's a big bear butt for you guys to take a look at. I am really excited to play him more and learn more about him. I played one game with him so far, and I get the gist of it. I get the idea of it. I'm going to have to practice a little bit more with him. But who here has played Rexxar so far since it just got released today, and what were your thoughts on it? Anybody?
I played Rexxar in Warcraft 3.
I played a few.
Okay. You played Rexxar in Warcraft 3? It's the same thing, dude. It's the exact same thing. I mean, you basically... No. What did you think of him, TBK? You said you played a couple of games with him.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't call him a tank by any means. I would classify him more as a bruiser, if anything. Rexxar himself is a little squishy, and as a lot of people have pointed out, Misha is kind of hard to control because you don't have direct control over it all. It's all... she's got... her AI is a little wonky, I guess,
it's
would
like
probably be the best way
controlling
to
a
put it.
gargantuan, kind of.
Yeah, it's a little better than that.
That's
a little better than that, but it's not... I think people just want it to be Vikings.
Yeah,
and I know why. I think I know why they didn't do it, because they probably didn't want to turn it into Misha's going to soak a lane and Rexxar is going to soak a lane type thing. But I mean, that can be easily fixed by, Misha can't move so far away from Rexxar. And I mean, I think a lot of people are going to call for her to be able to be directly controllable, and I can totally see why, because he's a little hard to play now, because he's squishy, like I said. So if you kill him, they're both dead, and so you can kind of just ignore the bear, go for him, and then not have to worry about it.
Sure.
Would you guys say that makes Feign Death a must pick at 16?
Oh, totally. Feign Death is huge.
Oh yeah, yeah. And we're gonna when we do a character breakdown, every week we do a character breakdown, and give you a build. And what we're gonna do is at the end of the show, we are gonna go through a Rexxar build, and then for the second half of the show, I'm gonna use that build. Now again, I know that it's probably not gonna be a cookie cutter, and we're gonna have to kind of pick and choose a little bit depending on what we're up against. So keep in mind. But we're gonna give him a good breakdown, a good once over. So there was one other thing. Oh, here's the easy way. A lot of people, I can see easily how it's confusing about what am I doing with Rexxar and what am I doing with Misha and how am I controlling this stuff. Basically, your Q comes from Rexxar, your W comes from Misha. Your E just heals Misha. That's about it. You have to keep track of of when to call Misha back and whatnot. That's handled with your D. And but other than that, even when she gets low on health, she comes back to you. So, and I automatically assume Misha's a she because when you queue up, there's nothing there. You can see that. So, but it's if you can get in your head, Q comes from me, W comes from Misha, and the rest is healing Misha and auto attacking and staying safe, you'll play Rexxar a little bit better, I think. So we'll see. It's easy to call shots from the cheap seats. You know what I mean? Until you actually get in the field and you're like, what's going on here? So yeah, pretty excited about that. The bundle itself, $13.11, gets you Rexxar and Frostlord Rexxar, pretty sweet. And
so if you liked Wrath of the Lich King, you'll like this skin.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's is the Doombreaker bundle, is that new? No, that was on last week, wasn't it?
It's been out for like a week.
Has it?
2, hasn't it?
Yeah. Ironclaw Rhaegar skin, 50% off. Rhaegar, 50% off.
And
the tiger's 50% off.
Yeah, the tiger's 50% off too. The one staring right in the face.
The wolves are back. Like they got rid of the magic carpet and brought back the cyber and the
the cyber wolf.
Yeah, another wolf.
$9.99,
I think.
And the dire wolf, $7.49.
Wolfpack is back.
Ooh, I should buy that. That is kind of cool. So yeah, I'm just throwing money. I need to get the Butcher's Beast. That is now purchasable.
Oh yeah,
$10. Don't get me started on that whole mount and butcher thing. That was still stupid. The fact that it's over $20 for a mount and the hero and the skins and stuff like that. You can't buy that.
$20.03.
Yeah, you can't buy that with a Blizzard $20 Blizzard gift card. You can't buy that, and that just pissed me off to no end. So, anyways, I might not buy that mount just as to be defiant. So
I just think the mount is ugly personally.
It depends.
I'm not a huge fan of that mount either.
It's a stupid Coda with a toaster on its back. It's just
It's called a coaster.
Damn.
Yeah,
It's called a coaster.
coaster.
Just throw it out there.
Yeah. So, anyways, Rexxar's here in the Nexus. Rexxus in the Nexus. There was a new thing that was added, and it is all about reporting options and a silence penalty. Balrog, what is going on with this, man?
Basically, they just kind of introduced more options for when you report people. Now you can do something like AFK non-participation, which I actually had to do earlier. And it was nice to have that actual option, because before it was just kind of like, pick any topic and make sure you type out exactly what happened, and we'll try to throw it in the right direction. What happens now, though, is if you report it too many times and they're legitimate reports, you can become silenced, which means you will not be able to use allied chat in-game. You won't be able to chat in Hero League draft lobbies. You won't be able to chat in general chat channels, chat in custom chat channels, or send whispers to non-friends. So that really, I think it's a great way of dealing with this stuff. When people are being jerks, they deserve some sort of punishment, and hopefully this will sway them from doing that, because the first time they're silenced, all those chat restrictions will take place for 24 hours. And then,
that is flaw number 1 in this system.
Wait. But the duration will double for each silence penalty received after the first, and there is no maximum.
Okay, so here it is. Thursday night. I get on. I got a couple of drinks in me. Things are getting rowdy. And I start lipping off, and they ban me for 24 hours. Well, that's cool, because Friday night I'm going out with the wife, and Saturday, I won't even be able to get on until Saturday afternoon. So my penalty? Almost non-existent.
Non-existent, true, but
what they need to do is they need to have 12 hours of gameplay time. They need to have. It's not a 24-hour period. That's just stupid. People cannot play for 24 hours, or at least play 1 or 2 games versus the AI and not care just to get their dailies done. But if you really want to feel the swift justice and actually put these people where they need to go, you need to have it in game time. Not in not in 24-hour clock time.
That may be true. I don't know. I think the overall threat. I mean, Blizzard generally has a pretty good community when you compare it to something like Riot's community. There's less toxic, angry at the world type people. So I think this will be enough to dissuade people from being jerks a lot. I
don't know. When you can theoretically get penalized, and all you got to do is just not play the game for a night. You get slapped with the silence penalty at 9 p.m. on Friday night. Well, guess what? It's gone 9 p.m. Saturday night. Go out and do something for the day with whatever, and come back and be a jerk that night. Now I realize it doubles. It doubles, and that's okay. That's a thing. But
people who are generally jerks in games don't really have social lives, so this is a big punishment.
Yeah,
you raise a ridiculously valid point.
Punishing you from playing it, you just won't be able to be a keyboard warrior in the middle of the match.
Yeah,
which hopefully will help because you could spend all that time you were going to type something, hopefully playing the game.
Yeah, who'd have thought that might be a thing? That might be a thing.
Helping your team win.
So stay tuned for that. We'll see what happens next week if DJ Tyrant has the little chat bubble in his thing. We'll know.
You'll know what's up.
We'll know he had his fighting hair on and things got ugly. It got real. So the Eternal Conflict, ladies and gentlemen, is coming to a close. 9ball, what do we have on that, brother?
Yep. It has come to a close now. As of this patch, it is gone. So that means, even though the Diablo maps, the Diablo heroes and such are all still going to be there, the special events such as the Treasure Goblin Daily that we all got for kind of like that free 100 gold just for playing a game is gone, as well as the special bonus quest of killing the 50 treasure goblins, and we were all just like kind of lamenting before the show started how very few of us actually played enough games to get in there, because before it was like, oh, every game that you play there's a goblin. Then it seems once that quest started, oh, it's like only your first game, and maybe like 4 games later you'll get one. So it was a lot more than like 50 games that you had to play in order to try and get that special portrait.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. And I was guilty of that. I was like, did I play 50 games? No, I didn't. Did I come damn close? Yes, I did. And I think of that, I ended up with like 9 treasure goblins, and it's like, come on.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a beef on this just because they didn't really give us much warning. They gave us 6 days of warning that it was ending, and they only gave like 5 or 6 weeks to get those 50 goblins, and if they had been every single match, then I probably would have poured a lot more time into trying to get it. But it was frustrating not seeing it every single match.
It was also punishing to the people who hadn't gotten it done who went to Dragon Con.
Exactly.
Like if they tell you like on day 6, they're like, hey, you got 6 days to do this. Well, I'm leaving for Dragon Con.
Yeah.
I'll be back in 5 days.
Well,
it was frustrating.
I'm thinking of those Dragon Con people.
You know what though? I wonder if it's going to be. It's not going to be a one-time thing. They're going to bring it back.
Maybe.
They will.
They might.
They will. When you get to the point where you want to have an even more incentive for people to log in and play, you throw something like that out there. It's just like when they bring mounts back and stuff like that, and whatever. Give you a reason to get in the game and do something. And so, they'll do it. Oh, I didn't get it last time, and it snuck up on me, so I'm going to get it this time.
Well, maybe I just worry because it was a special launch event. The Eternal Conflict was a launch event of sorts where they introduced 2 new maps and 3 new heroes related to Diablo. I mean, if they do another Diablo-related theme event, maybe the Treasure Goblins will come back, but I imagine that's a long ways off.
Yeah, they have all their other IPs to do first.
But
it wasn't retroactive.
Look at how much Blizzard does with, like, this weekend, triple XP for this weekend, extra rep in Warcraft. This weekend, blah, blah, blah. I can see them easily. This weekend, Treasure Goblins are back, and you have a chance to get this thing, and then you may not see it for another 2 or 3 months or something like that. So they're not going to take it away and just be like, oh, yeah, you guys remember 4 years ago when you had, like, 20 days to get this thing done? Yeah, you're still screwed,
That would be awesome, actually. I'd respect them more if they did that.
Yeah.
Just a big FU to the fans.
Super exclusive big, ugly portrait.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, speaking of playing and party sizes and whatnot, there was some changes that were made to the party size for Hero League, and I know for one, DJ Tyrant is just all sorts of excited about this change. He's ecstatic about it. Things are finally going his way. He did the traditional DJ Tyrant fire dance of love earlier over this decision. So why don't you go ahead and expand a little bit more, sir, if you wouldn't mind, about just the magic that this is bringing into your life.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, with Hero League, they changed it recently where if you have 5 people, you just automatically get put in the team league now. I was totally cool with that. Totally understood why they did that. But now they're dialing back the Hero League party sizes to a maximum of 2. I kind of understand why they're doing this at the higher level. Like rank 1, I can kind of understand if you're a 4 stack and you go up against 5 random people, you probably are going to steamroll them.
Yeah.
But this just frustrates me because I was playing a lot with TBK and oh my gosh, I can't think of his name. I always do this. Cattleprod. And we were playing Hero League, and it was a lot of fun. Cattle would play Johanna, TBK would be on Jaina, and I was doing Malfurion, and it was like a really nice setup. We won maybe 50-60% of our games. It wasn't like
we won more than we lost, for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, now how it is I'm going to have to either drop, being how I am, I'm probably just going to drop out and let them play, rather than try to drag 2 other people in and play Team League. So Hero League is completely locked out for players of 3 or 4 parties, which is, or parties of 3 or 4 players, which is extremely frustrating to me.
It is. And so basically you can have a maximum of 2, so that means you're going to get placed in Hero League with either another party of 2 and a solo queuer, or 3 solo queuers. And it ultimately was done to expand communication. And, they were like, oh, well, sometimes you're in a party of 4 and you got the one dude and he feels left out and everything because it's all about feelings. And we got, and so this was their way of solving that. Because if you have 2 people on a team and 2 other people on a team and a solo queuer, you guys are going to theoretically communicate a little bit more. Now, my idea is that after this whole penalty thing that they're doing, maybe people will be a little bit nicer. And when you're nice, guess what happens? You make friends. And when you make friends, you can queue up as 3 or 4 people and go into this. And it is, I can see doing 3. I can see doing 3, not 2. Because at 3, that's still only 60% of your team. I mean, 40% is a pretty large number to not be in communication with. And to just snip an additional friend that you could be playing with. I mean, this is a team. It's a friend thing. The more people that that you can have to play with, the more fun you're going to have. I hate playing this game like just by myself, or I hate it a little bit less playing with one other person. But that's what I'm forced into now, and that's not fun. But at the same time, I shouldn't have to have 4 other friends all set aside time so that way we can all do Hero League together and we can all play together and this and that. It's just a bad number. It's just a bad number in my opinion.
One thing I was really hoping they would do, I understand why they did it. It makes sense just for the overall kind of health of the game to cut it down like that. I mean, most of the bigger MOBAs like League of Legends they're ranked as a solo and duo queue, and it works pretty well, but it doesn't allow one side to stack and kind of steamroll and be in communication or have one person left out. But on the other side of things, I kind of wish they would have introduced the non-ranked draft mode at the same time they took it away, because I think that's everyone's biggest problem is quick match doesn't cut it.
Yes.
It's just not good enough. We need a non-ranked draft mode that any size team can join in, and then you'll have your kind of pre-made, your map, you can pick your heroes, and it's not ranked necessarily, but that's the price you pay for the more health of Hero League. Yeah. But still, I was really hoping they would introduce that, and they haven't, and I haven't seen any indication that that's coming anytime soon, which would be a huge shame.
Or they just need something to announce at BlizzCon.
Yeah, maybe.
You know?
I'm actually...
Maybe. I think BlizzCon's a little too far away.
Yeah, I mean, we're still talking 2 months.
Yeah, they don't. They're on their own time schedule. They'll release it as they please, when they please. You know what I mean? As long as they're feeding us heroes, which they are, and they're feeding us content, which they are.
I don't know. Like, I mean, the reason this change came about is because enough people talked about it and really rallied around it. But now that this change has been made, I mean, if you look at Reddit and even Blizzard's forums, there's a lot of people unhappy about this too. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the best solution is, but definitely having an unranked draft mode would be very helpful.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that way you can.
Solution.
That way you can crap on the Gazlo player before the game even starts.
Exactly, and get muted.
That's right. What's your idea, Charlie?
Team League should be for 3, 4, and 5, and then they have a whole separate mode that is just for 5-man parties with ranked draft, bans, the full shebang that you would see at most tournaments, 2 bans on each side. Have that be called, tournament play.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be like a separate ladder where you could, all the real heavy pro players could go. And then Team League is just for 3, 4, and 5 people who want to, just goof off like we often do. And then solo, or whatever it's called, what's it called, non-Team League, just Hero League? That's just for the 1s and 2s to keep the balance there.
Well, you know what? Ultimately, it is a matter of, and I mean, again, I'm calling shots from the cheap seats, but ultimately, it's the same game. If you can make a custom game and pick your maps and everything like that, all they have to do is restructure. Like, they should be able to give you tens and tens and tens of options. You know what I mean? Like I've got 4 people, so I should be able to do this, this, or this. A custom game, a draft, or whatever. It's all about just what method am I going to... What outcome do I want? Do I want this to be some sort of a ranked play? Or do I want this to be some sort of a fun play? And what options do I have for the people that I have to play with? And if you can spell those options out, you're just loading a map and going into the same game. It's just a matter of how you're going to get there. And I mean, I don't think implementing options like that is a hard thing. I mean, they do that you look at StarCraft. I go into StarCraft and it's like, which way of these 422 options would you like to play this game?
Arcade.
Yeah, arcade.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like why are you trying to please not a handful of people, but I think a semi-outspoken small amount of people? And here comes the hate mail. Why are you trying to please them when you could just do something like this and just please everybody? I realize it takes time. It's not one of those things where they're just like, oh, all right, coffee break's done. Let's go and just implement all of it. I realize it takes time. It takes, manpower and practice, or not practice, thinking ideas and stuff like that. But I mean, ultimately, there's a better fix than just Hero League for 2 people. So that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I think I've said as much as I can say about it.
Yeah, his hair is twitching now. He's getting angry. So let's talk about considerations for drafting. Now, if you go to heroesofthestorm.blizzpro.com, guys, there's all sorts of articles. Articles about heroes that are being released, stuff that's going on inside the game, stuff that's going on inside of Blizzard, tournaments, news, events coming up. Heroesofthestorm.blizzpro.com is one of those things that you need to have bookmarked, or at least tapped into your RSS feed, because as soon as the news comes out, that's where it comes from, and it's kind of like having your own little Heroes of the Storm magazine delivered directly to your phone or tablet or whatever. So considerations for drafting, team comps and draft considerations is one of the articles that was written this week by Alebeard. And Balrog fan, why don't you tell us a little bit about that, man?
Yeah, I enjoyed this article. I think it raised a lot of good points about drafting. But the main one in the beginning is fancy play syndrome. It's a poker thing where people overthink what they're doing and they think their knowledge of the game will carry them through as opposed to their actual skill. And if you're good with a hero, just pick that hero, especially if you're in the beginning. You might catch some flack because you first pick Raynor, but if Raynor's your dude and you know how to do things like and play the game well with Raynor, take Raynor.
Agreed.
But when you're playing, you can consider team comps in solo queue or things like that. You can kind of, like, when you're 4th or 5th pick, if you're just not a tank yet, you look at your team and you can play this character and it matches it well. It's nice to match it up. Basically, there's about 5 comps that are really popular. 6 maybe. One of them's really hard to execute in solo queue, though. The standard one is Poke, and that's usually a tank, a healer, and 3 damage dealers that are typically ranged. And the idea is you have a tank in front.
Dinner,
look at that. There's the old Blizz Pro, whatchamacallit? The Blizz Pro
that was
ads.
an ad?
Yeah, it was an ad on the Blizz Pro site.
Oh, boy.
Sorry.
Gotta love it.
Get it together, Twiz. What's going on here? But basically, yeah, you have a tank that kind of like peels for your DPS in the back, and it's a very easy comp to run, and you can think about running it based on the picks. There's dive comps, which are usually trying to go in and focus one target out of the fight as soon as possible. Guys like Tyrael, Illidan, Uther, Karazhan, Rhaegar are good healers for that. Melee heroes like Illidan and the Butcher are good for that. People who can really just focus one guy down right away.
Mm-hmm.
There's Wombo Combo, which is, trying to do something special with a bunch of abilities all combined together. Usually a Devouring Maw or a Mosh Pit that sets up a great Gravity Bomb or Orbital Strike or Ravenous Spirit or Ring of Frost, whatever. These can be hard to execute, but if some guy's going, hey, I've got a great ETC, and the next guy goes, I got a great Gazlo, then it might be time to try and make something like that work, especially if you've got something else that can complement that. Also, the Entomb, Leoric's Entomb does some good things for like Ravenous Spirit and Ring of Frost and all that. So, then there's Siege comps. I find this kind of thing is what you want to do on Haunted Mines. If you get into Haunted Mines, there's nothing wrong with taking 3 specialists like Zagara, Asmodan, and Sylvanas, and then plugging in a true heal and a true tank behind them. You will probably win the push war all game, and that's the most important thing in Haunted Mines. It's also kind of important on Eternal Conflict a bit too. Basically, 2-lane maps are where pushing lanes out can really benefit you, and Hammer's already good on that map, and as is Murky. So, but these are all things you might want to just consider while you're drafting. And you want team balance, and you want to play to the map if you have the heroes for it. But overall, pick what you're comfortable with, and don't do something to just... If somebody's going like, oh man, this team would be great with Gazlo, and you got last pick, and you might have played Gazlo 5 times, don't give in and say, hey, yeah, I'll take Gazlo. We can play what you're good with. As long as, you're not picking the 3rd support on a team or the 4th tank,
Right.
That's why if you're going to go into Hero League, it is important to have, I think, one of every class. Master a Specialist, Master a DPS, Master a Warrior, and Master a Support. And that way you at least have options that you can flex in if your particular hero is out. Maybe you do nothing but play Kel'Thas all the time, but at least you know how to play Muradin effectively and Nazeebo effectively and Rhaegar effectively. That way you can plug those guys in. And yeah, that's basically the article in a nutshell. I mean, if you want the full detail, go ahead and check out HeroesLet'sRunBlizzPro.com, and you will. I mean, Alebeard's writing great articles every week, and they really cater to players who are newer and need to learn things about a specific topic. And if you're one of those kind of players, go ahead and check it out, because you will not be disappointed. Absolutely.
Could not have said it better myself. So, last but not least, we promised at the beginning, let's talk about Rexxar's abilities and his talents. And I'm going to play... I'm going to kind of pick... we'll talk about the talents, and I'll kind of get a rough idea of what we're going to do for the second segment, or the second portion of the show, where I'm playing him, so that way we have a good idea of what we can try out and what we can test out and everything like that. The more I look at him, the more he looks like Batman. Seriously. So let's talk about his abilities. First off, he's got Spirit Swoop. That's your Q. Deals 48 damage to enemies in a line, slowing them by 30% for 2 seconds. It's It is what it is. It's a little bit of a damage and a slow and whatever. I don't know, from the little bit that I did play with him, I did feel a little bit mana starved at points. So it's something to kind of keep in check. I would say if you're trying to chase an enemy down, or somebody's trying to chase an enemy down, definitely use the Spirit Swoop, but again, very situational. Misha Charge. When you hit your W button, you're going to see the little targeting arrow come from Misha. This goes back what I said a little bit earlier about Q comes from me, W comes from Misha. So you'll see the little arrow come from Misha, and you can direct where she's going to charge to. Now, she charges in a line, she does 30 damage, and she stuns the enemies for 1.25 seconds. I thought I counted 1.24 earlier, but yeah, it turns out I was wrong. And then your E ability is Mend Pet. Basically, you just heal Misha for 120 health over 5 seconds. Trait, you've got Misha. It's your passive. Misha attacks your enemies. There are 2 toggles for Misha. One is kind of an aggressive, and the other one is kind of calling her back to you. And so it's keeping track of Misha and what's going on with her. Again, if Misha is a boy, sorry, I'm just going to call it a her the whole time. And keeping her safe, so that you can kind of toggle that. The 2 heroic abilities that Rexxar has is Unleash the Boars, where you release a horde of boars that track down all the enemy heroes in a direction that deal 40 damage, reveals the enemies, and slows them by 40% for 5 seconds. Situational. Again, I guess if you're playing a team that has high mobility and stuff like that, this is something to look at. Bestial Wrath is the other one, where you increase Misha's basic attack damage by 150% for 12 seconds. Again, though, if what I noticed is if you're playing with it and you pop that as Misha, guess what? She becomes the focal point target for everything. And you're just kind of a sitting duck tossing birds out until she decides to come back. So there's the abilities in a breakdown. Anybody got anything to add to that?
No, that all sounds good. I have like my talent build locked and loaded and what I think should be played.
Okay.
So if you want me to go through that, or you would prefer to like go level by level, I don't know how you want to do this.
Well, let's just kind of go through. We'll give the breakdown level by level, and then we'll see what I would have picked, and then we'll do what's called the right way and go with what you picked.
No, because this is all theory crafting for me. I haven't actually played him yet. I've just seen him, so.
Okay.
I could be 100% wrong, but this is just how if I was going to start a game with him, how I would play him.
Okay. Well, we'll start with level 1. There's Grizzled Bear. Misha periodically reduces the damage received from hero basic attacks by 50%. Stores up 2 charges. There's also Hunter-Gatherer, where regen globes permanently increase health regen of you and Misha by 1. Survivalist Training, regen globes restore 100% more mana. And then there's Flare. Flare, you toss the flare in an area and reveal everything in it for 5 seconds. Obviously really helpful against, Novas, Zeratools, and stuff like that. You see that little shimmer, you toss the flare out there. And so that's going to be a level 1 pick on the fly. I know if I saw a Zeratool Nova combo or something like that, I would probably go with Flare right off the bat. Other than that, I probably would go with Grizzled Bear first off. Again, just trying to protect my investment.
I just noticed Flare only has a 20-second cooldown. That's really short.
Yeah. Is that my question about Flare is that range global?
No,
it's at an area.
Yeah, it's at an area.
How far is it? Is it a sizable area? Like
yeah, it's a large area.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's a pretty large area. I would say it is. Oh my God!
Is it like Falstad's flight range or Illidan's Hunt?
It's kind of it's like yeah TBK nailed it. It's kind of like within your screen. So
okay.
Picture like you're going bottom lane of pick your map, Curse or whatever. You're in the bottom lane, you're in the bushes. You could flare half the lane.
Okay, that makes sense to me. I think that's pretty good. I wish the range on it was a little longer, but I understand why. It kind of dawned on me for a second. That might be auto pick if you can just golem check from the bottom side of the map with
I think it.
Oh, go for it.
The power of it is in its cooldown, though. Like Jimmy was saying, 20 seconds on that, because that's not good just for stealthies. That's good for bush checking or just
Yep.
anything really.
Cursed Hollow, amazing. Checking to see
totally.
who's in the bushes and stuff while the tribute's getting ready to spawn. And also, even if it's not a bad idea if you're picking lanes or trying to figure out who's where or whatever. Have Rexxar charge right down the lane, toss a flare over the gate, and see who's hanging around there. See who else is in your hood with you, and you can rotate your team from there. So there's some versatility there.
It's pretty good. I don't want to get too carried away with it because Rexxar's Farsight is global and a 30-second cooldown. So, there are better options, but it's definitely a helpful tool. I would probably go Hunter-Gatherer. I think with the ability for Misha to grab globes and you grab globes, it's pretty big deal to get that much regeneration. It's an extra 1 per second per globe, so that's pretty big considering every globe now gives you more per level. So it can get really out of hand. In a typical game where I'm actually like actively globe hunting, I might get 24. That's an extra 24 for him and Misha throughout the game and the end game when it can really matter. Early game when you're trying to trade and stay alive.
Okay. Well, I figured because of Grizzle Bear, would have been the pick because once people kill Misha, you're done. But I guess from what you guys are saying, if you just ignore Misha and go straight for Rexxar,
I don't even think there's
solved.
a good reason to kill Misha right now.
Yeah. Plus, it only protects him from basic attacks, so if they want to blow Misha up with abilities, then...
That's true. All right, we'll go with Hunter-Gatherer. For 4, there's Hungry Bear. Misha's attacks healer for 4% of her max health is the one I would have gone with. However, there's Crippling Talons, which increases the Spirit Swoop slow amount by 40% and its duration by 3 seconds. Taking Flight increases Spirit Swoop's range by 20%. If Spirit Swoop hits an enemy hero, the mana cost is refunded. And then there's Easy Prey, which increases Misha's damage to minions and mercenaries by 150% and reduces the damage taken from minions and mercenaries by 50%. So if you wanted like a kind of a push build, Easy Prey would be a pretty good pick there. But protecting my investment, I would think Hungry Bear would be the way to go. What are you guys' thoughts?
Me personally, I think investing in Misha is a bad idea. I think it's one of those things where you don't have control of Misha, you're relying on the AI, and it was the same reason I never really built Gargantuan before they fixed it, or built Hydralisk before you could redirect it, or Ultralisk before you could redirect it. And this looks like keeping Misha alive is a mana-intensive investment with Men-Pet constantly needing to be used and relying on Misha's charge a lot to get things going. I would stick with the spirits. I'd go Crippling Talons here and just kind of like let Misha do her own thing since people are going to ignore her probably anyways. Anything she gives you is gravy, and then you can focus on your lowest mana skill getting really buff, and an extra 10% on a slow and an extra second on it is pretty big. You're talking like Jaina type slows there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What about you, TBK or DJ?
I would completely agree for that type of build for sure. That's just like you said, such an amazing slow and 3 seconds of it. That's fantastic. But the thing that gives me pause too, wonder if how the build could work out. Easy Prey, so increasing the damage to minions and mercs and reducing the damage she takes, and then if you combine that with his level 7 Bird of Prey, you could have yourself basically a specialist. And the pushing power or the murking he could do just so easily, because Misha could tank those mercs for you so I just wonder if you got both of those, could you solo a boss at 7?
Yeah, you're talking.
That's pretty tempting, honestly.
Yeah. No, I would love to play around with that because that's like a Sonya type territory. That sounds really interesting.
I'll do that. We'll plan a Hunter-Gatherer, and then I'll take Easy Prey, and then I'll take Bird of Prey.
I could see it.
We'll try that.
At the very least, you would wave clear like crazy.
Oh yeah,
with that.
Level 10. We talked about the 2 ultimates. Which one do you guys think? I think Bestial Wrath is the way to go.
I have to play with it more. Unleash the Boars, I tried it, and it just didn't seem that good to me. But, I don't know. It does reveal enemies, which is nice.
Yeah, I like Unleash the Boars, personally, for utility, on paper anyways. And especially in my build, because I would have taken at 7. I would have taken throwing axes and just played in the back and done a lot of like disruption and slow and just be a real nuisance, and Unleash the Boars would carry into that type of build. But Bestial Wrath definitely seems like the better damaging choice.
Okay, cool. 13, we've got Wildfire Bear, which is just like, what is that, Burning Rage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Misha.
For bears.
For bears. She deals 12 damage per second to nearby enemies. There's Thrill of the Hunt, where your basic attacks increase both you and Misha's movement speed by 25% for 2 seconds. Bear Necessities, if you miss an enemy with your Misha charge, you get another one for free for 3 seconds, so you get to try it again. And then there's Bark Skin. Misha takes 50% less damage from abilities for 5 seconds after using Misha charge. I would maybe either go Wildfire Bear, or Bark Skin. Personally.
Yeah, because I would go Thrill of the Hunt to play safer, and I think Bare Necessities is terrible. I feel like talents that give you another opportunity if you miss are kind of throwaway talents a bit.
Yeah.
Double bomb.
Just don't miss.
Yeah, your aim is to hit skill shots. I'd go Thrill of the Hunt here too because it complements what I'm trying to do. I mean, I've already grabbed throwing axes, and having extra move speed will help me chase down or get away. You know, all I got to do is throw out an axe at somebody, and then I can take off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Barkskin would be good though if you're the only warrior for sure.
Yeah, I'd definitely lead towards Barkskin if you're going full Misha build.
16. You got Primal Intimidation. Enemies that basic attack you or Misha have their attack speed slow by 40%. Critical Care increases the healing of men pet by 50% while Misha is under 50% health. Aspect of the Hawk. When Spirit Swoop hits an enemy hero, you gain 100% attack speed for 3 seconds. And then there's also Feign Death, which I thought was pretty insane, where you fake your death, becoming invulnerable and untargetable for 5 seconds. During this time, you control Misha. I think I'm going to go with Feign Death.
Yeah.
Feign Death is awesome.
Yeah.
It's great for the Misha build. I mean, Aspect of the Hawk is what I'd take here simply because this is where this would be my big, like, oh, crap, he's becoming a real problem, because not only are they slowed by 40% for 3 seconds, I now have 100% extra attack speed during that, at range, extra movement.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, you're slowed, I'm fast, my attacks are fast. You almost enter butcher territories of burst damage, I would imagine, with that.
Agreed. At level 20, you've got Spirit Bond. If you went with the Bestial Wrath, it increases the duration by 50%, and basic attacks heal Rexxar for 50% of the damage dealt. Kill Command, your boars deal 50% more damage and roots them for 1.5 seconds. Frenzy of Kalendor. Basic attacks deal 10% more damage. Misa's basic attacks slow the target by 20%. And then there's Hardened Skin. You and Misha take 75% less damage for 4 seconds. Maybe Frenzy of Kalendor or Hardened Skin.
Yeah,
I don't see any reason to really buff the alt on that one.
I would maybe go Hardened Skin if you were the only tank, but like I said, I think he's going to work out a lot more as a bruiser.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, I would probably go the Frenzy or Spirit Bond.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah.
Because the Spirit Bond would help keep you up too.
Yes. Yep, that's good. That's a good point. Yep.
Yeah, and we were talking about just how weak Rexxar is. I mean, he is super squishy.
And I think at
So
level
that could help a lot.
at that point in the game, it only becomes a critical decision if you're neck and neck with the team. It kind of feels to me like Spirit Bond is a win more talent. You know, if you're already winning, you're just going to win more with that. And Frenzy of Kalendor kind of seems like I need to play it a little bit on the safe side because, you know, they're not too far behind us or whatever. We're not steamrolling them, so I don't know. It just depends on how the match is going.
Personally,
I hear you there.
I like Hardened Skin. I will go Frenzy of Kalendor if I'm winning, but Hardened Skin is one of those things where if it's close and you can bait them into blowing their abilities on you, like getting up in their face and taking 75% less damage from 2 alts and surviving and getting out, that's where the money is late game in team fights. Because it's all about who survives the initial engage and goes back on them. So if you're good at using Hardened Skin, that's really like the ultimate kind of FU to the enemy team, because it's 4 seconds of 75% less damage, which means like I said, if they blow 2 or 3 ults on you and don't get you killed, and the rest of your team is up with ults and they don't have hardened skin, you just basically won the game if you guys are playing well together. So
Sure. Sure.
I just want to say I'm actually hearing in one of the chat channels I hang out in that Misha cannot turn in gems on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
But she can pick them up?
Yeah, apparently.
But if you feign death,
Whoopsie.
if you feign death and you become invulnerable, wait.
Have to take feign death
During
to
this
turn
time,
in
you
gems.
control Misha. You might be able to turn those in.
So from the way it sounds like we've got 3 builds on the table. We have Misha damage build, we have Misha merc build, and we have the Hawk build. That is more of an auto attack focus. I think all 3 have something that offers, various things depending on the map, and it's all just going to depend. From my initial impressions of Misha, Misha. That's actually the joke in the forums. Misha, the new hero is Misha with the afterthought of Rexxar.
Right.
I think it's going to be interesting, but I don't value what he's bringing, honestly.
Yeah.
I was really hyped up for it, and I saw him. I'm like,
Yeah. I'm giving him an honest whirl. I am.
Yeah.
Zex in the chat room says feign death. That feign death thing doesn't work. I wouldn't be surprised if it. I mean, I don't know. I thought it might, simply because if you're Abathur and you use what's the alt where you clone a player?
Ultimate Evolution.
Ultimate Evolution. Is that right? Yeah. If you have coins on Blackheart's Bay and you clone somebody, you can turn those coins in. So.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Definitely sounds like it's either a bug or something they'll have to fix where she just doesn't pick up gems.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So, anyways, so it looks to me like I think what I'm going to try for the first couple of games is we'll try Hunter Gatherer at 1. We'll do Easy Prey at 4. At 7, we'll do Bird of Prey. 10, we'll do Bestial Wrath. 13, we'll do Thrill the Hunt. 16, we'll do Feign Death, and at 20 we'll just kind of pick wherever we're going there. And does that sound like a solid build for round 2 of this show?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll give it a whirl. You know what? I mean, yeah, here's the thing. It's brand new hero, brand new everything, so we'll give it a whirl and see what happens.
If we lose, we can just put the blame solely on your shoulders.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if we get the right map, you definitely need to try and boss solo at 7.
I can do that.
I'm here. Someone in the chat said it's not really viable until 10.
What's that?
Boss solo.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where you get the extra Misha damage from
Yep.
the bestial.
Well, you know what? Yeah. We will see. We'll take it one day at a time. So, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Those of you in the chat room, please stick around for part 2 of this show when we actually jump in and see kind of how badly I can screw Rexxar up in a game. And TBK, thank you very much, man. Obviously, he's sticking around for part 2 of the show. But real quick, why don't you let everybody know one more time how they can find you, how they can follow you, how can they can get a hold of you?
Sure. I'm on Twitter at TBKZord or on twitch.tv/TBKZord. I usually stream Monday nights around 8 Central. Just Hero League or whatever our Hero of the Week is. I'll usually get in a few games on them. And then you can find Lords of the Storm at Lords of the Storm. Nice and easy. On Twitter or lordsofthestorm.libsyn.com. Yeah, too easy.
Too
Make it
easy.
harder.
Too easy. So, very cool. All right, thank you guys so much for what you do. Make sure you're checking out. And if you have a few bucks, head over to patreon.com/heroespowerhour. Every little bit helps. And thank you again for what you do for this show. And hopefully we will see you in part 2. Catch you later. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.